Greetings upon greetings. That's how you have it is pure tea today.
Good. How are you guys? Happy Tuesday, everybody.
Yes, terrific Tuesday.
And welcome to Here to Help You on my TCN TV network.
Mm-hmm,
It's a
mm-hmm.
lovely day. It's bright and sunny outside.
Bird in my chirp.
Finally, I could get away with wearing a jean jacket. I probably can't yet, but I'm forcing spring to come. So,
You know what happens when you force ripe something, right?
what?
Bad things happen.
Well, I'm force riping it, so I don't care. All right. Welcome. Welcome, and big ups, big ups, big ups to obviously the team that makes it happen here at my TCN TV network. I have my co host with the most, Mr. Dave Rankin.
Big up yourselves.
Of course, behind back there, doing it all, making us look beautiful. Our production manager, Miss Anisha.
Go on with it.
And today we have a very powerful topic, and we
Mhm.
have a young lady that we actually got to sit in on the interview with us today. Even
Yeah.
though she's not in the country, we still got her to sit in with us. And we talk, it's basically about film,
Mhm.
but it kind of goes back to the idea of media. And for a filmmaker, and for anyone involved in the media, even ourselves, doing this and being a reporter of any kind, you have to understand the type of role that you actually do play,
Mhm.
because the media is what makes and creates opinions.
Yeah, it's important.
Right.
Of course, everybody's talking about controlling the narrative.
Controlling the
Getting in front
narrative.
of a story, right?
That's right.
So
That's what filmmakers do.
that's right.
Filmmakers, they take control of the narrative completely because they write, a lot of them write it, they direct it, they pick their actors and
There's
actresses,
so many hats.
right? There's so many different hats that they do wear.
Mhm.
So we figured, you know what, to say that in talking about the media, if you guys missed this, we had a ribbon cutting ceremony on Friday
Yeah.
for my TCN TV. I don't know if anyone missed it, but if you did, you can watch what happened. We had a lot of dignitaries, some big people in here on Friday.
Yeah, it was interesting to see, so many wonderful people coming in this space and actually for the first time.
And it was great to see so many African leaders in
That
their
too.
field here, which was
Mhm.
really, really cool.
Yes, big up everybody
You
you
know,
reached.
acting mayor, the beautiful young
Yes.
black woman. It was so beautiful to see.
Mhm.
Big up yourself. And if you want to see that video, definitely go to my TCN TV network, and you can see that on Facebook where they have that up right now. So let's jump right in. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about black film. So what we decided to do today before we bring on our special guest to speak with us is to kind of go over some of the films that are out there. We won't spend too much time on some, but there's some that people probably didn't realize were black directors. So some of the obvious ones, like the very first one, Boys in the Hood.
I love this film. I mean, who doesn't, right?
But we all know
Dope
that was
boy.
John Singleton.
Dope boy.
We all know that was John Singleton.
Big up Johnson.
Right? We knew that's one of those things that people kind of knew that was a black director. Do we have? Yeah, there he is.
They kind of really put him on the map in regards to, or at least put us on the map, but really putting on a wonderfully scripted movie.
It talked about some reality. It still showed a lot of stereotypes, I think, though, in that movie.
At the
There
end
was
of
a
the
lot.
day, I mean, I don't think we can really get away from the stereotypes,
No,
but
no.
we can definitely do some good films.
And that was such a big leeway for actors like Cuba Gooding Jr., Angela Bassett, Lawrence Fishburne, so
Big up Ice
Nia
Cube.
Long.
Mhm.
Okay. Another great movie, one of my favorites, Training Day.
Yes.
Classic.
King Kong got nothing on me.
Now, everyone knows that one line, of course, but what people may not have known is that it was by a black director.
Yeah.
Antoine, is it
Fukua?
Fakua?
We'll
I'm
go with
sorry if
that.
I messed up your name.
We
buddy.
apologize.
We apologize. But here he is.
Yeah.
Right, which is kind of cool. And that, of course, had Eva Menendez, Snoop Dogg, Denzel Washington, Dr. Dre, full, really fully packed African cast, which is kind of cool. So big up yourself. So we're going to go back a little bit, and we're going to talk about a movie that we were probably dating ourselves, Stir Crazy.
I love this movie.
This is such a funny movie, but it's so old school.
I love this movie.
And this starred Richard Pryor
Uh-huh.
and Wilder at that time, because they used to do a lot of movies together.
Yes, it did.
Right?
Uh-huh.
And for people who didn't realize this was released in the 80s, 1980.
Yeah, I went to. I don't know if you remember the drive theater. I don't think anybody does that anymore,
absolutely.
right?
No, well, they do have drive-ins.
They do?
They do have drive-ins. It's not as popular, but they have them.
Okay.
They do have them.
I seen this at the drive-in. I remember this.
And this was directed by the great Sidney Poitier.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So another, again, leading man who did a lot for us as an African lead.
Yeah.
And then of course he started directing, putting us on again. another wonderful, wonderful thing.
Beautiful film.
So a lot of people knew this already. So Ryan Coogler, And that's, of course, for Black Panther,
Mm-hmm.
the movie that won all types of awards.
1.4 billion worldwide.
And this is an African director
Yeah, with only one white person in the
throughout the
film.
whole film. He did a great job. So let's keep going. Let's do
Your joint.
Get Out. Favorite movie of all time. And you see that new movie, Us?
Yeah.
That movie, and the thing about what I like about Jordan,
Peele.
is it Peele?
Peele.
I call him Pele.
Your belly?
Horrible. So Jordan Peele, since I now know your name, he has such. Why I want to watch his movie Us is because he does this like background. There's a whole bunch of stories going behind stories, and there's political references. So I'm dying to see Us. I'm like, what were you trying to say to us this time? Right? So great actor. I remember people didn't realize how talented he was.
Well, he's been in it for a long time.
Yeah,
you
and
know.
he was just doing joke stuff before, but he's a strong director, man. His films are Get Out. So of course, Spike Lee, anything Spike Lee.
What's your favorite Spike Lee movie? If you had to pick, I don't know, maybe one or two. No, Malcolm X. No,
Malcolm X.
Malcolm X.
I was just thinking, like, because he's had so many, but that was the most powerful to me.
Okay.
Didn't get an Oscar or nothing, but a very powerful movie.
Yeah.
One of my favorite movies
Malcolm X is
of
dope.
all time. Great
Yeah.
movie.
Miracle in St. Anna. If anybody hasn't seen it, please go see it. Wonderful movie.
What's it called?
Miracle in St. Anna.
Oh yes, I've heard of it. I've never seen it though.
Okay, we got to see that.
Okay.
Yeah, wonderful movie.
We have time for a couple more. So
Yeah,
let's
let's
talk
go.
about the movie Selma, which was released in 2014. What many may not know is that it directed by a beautiful black woman named Ava DuVernay.
Yes.
I didn't know that either. Like, and it's so interesting. Like, I guess maybe if you're not into filmmaking, I'm sure a lot of filmmakers. I know our guest probably knows all of this. She's like, how did you not know that? I'm a writer. If you ask me about writers, I can tell you. But when it comes to filmmakers, I don't know. So seeing this though is incredible because
Powerful.
it's like, yay.
Yeah.
And it's a great mix of women and men doing these wonderful things. So it's,
Beautiful.
let's see here. Daughters of the Dust.
This is a classic.
I've
Absolutely
never
classic.
seen this.
We gotta watch it.
Okay, I've never seen Daughters of the Dust.
Mm-hmm.
But this is directed by Julie Dash.
Yeah, she's a pioneer in the game, man.
Okay, like 1991 was the initial date release.
Mm-hmm.
So again, who would know? Who would have known? Again, filmmakers probably knew. Simone's lost. So, in saying that, I want to say that I love the fact that people who are now in the media, including myself and you, I think we can put ourselves there. We're not doing filmmaking, but we're definitely highlighting and changing the narrative and the way people do see us as, I'm going to say it, as a race, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I have some videos which you will see that talk a little bit about where these movies have come from, where filmmaking has come from. I find some classics there that I think our guest is going to enjoy. When we get back, we're going to be sitting down with, and this is, you know what? Dave has been doing a wonderful job of extending our reach and reaching out to other parts, obviously, of the globe to find great Africans to highlight. And he came upon Miss Tanika Wright, who is the owner and founder of the Black Filmmakers Academy. And she's going to have a lot to share with us, especially for some of our younger filmmakers in the game. You may want to watch the show because I think she'll
touch on a few points.
Yeah, if you guys were doubting yourselves, definitely keep an eye out for this. When we come back,
sure.
we'll be sitting down with Tanika Wright. I'm here to help you. See you guys soon.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity and our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
Hello, my name is Anisha, and I'm manager of TCN Network. Have you ever wanted to host your own show? We are seeking people who are committed, motivated, and energetic. Do you want to be the next Jimmy Fallon, Ellen DeGeneres, or Shane and Ryan from BuzzFeed Unsolved? Start here. Fill out the Propose a Show form on mytcntv.com. We're here to educate, support, and build the community. Can you lead by example? Go the extra mile and seek knowledge? Are you humble, disciplined, responsible, selfless, and enthusiastic? Those are our core values. And if you identify with them, you could be part of a growing network that focuses on positivity and uplifting our community. We can't wait for you to join us on TCN Network and hope to hear from you soon.
In the early part of the 20th century, with racial segregation still in place in much of the U.S., Black filmmakers made movies for Black audiences outside the white Hollywood mainstream. They produced around 500 so-called race films, but most are lost to history.
Newly mastered from archival film elements.
To preserve America's first independent cinema, this year the company Kino Lorber released a 5-disc collection combining 20 hours of these films called The Pioneers of African American Cinema. The collection of 16 feature films and shorts, mainly from the 1920s and 30s, includes comedies, dramas, and documentaries. They not only starred Black actors, the films were often written, directed, and produced by African Americans.
Hello, hello.
The other hand.
So I'd like to introduce her first, and then we're going to start picking her brain, getting all her information. I would like to welcome to the show Miss Tanika Wright, and I'm going to explain to you who this young lady is. So she's an award-winning filmmaker and owner of the Black Filmmakers Academy, an online platform that provides courses, workshops, and summits in various areas of filmmaking. So the Black Filmmakers Academy exists for one simple reason: to help Black filmmakers learn the art, craft, and business side of making, distributing, and marketing cinematic masterpieces. Tanika has made it her mission to change the way people of color are viewed in film, like a lot of our people, a lot of the filmmakers that we were just discussing in that video have done. So how is she doing this? Why do we even have Tanika on? So she's obviously created a solution for the problem, and she's created platforms for movies told from the Black perspective and with the Black voice. So Tanika falls very much in line with the vision of us here, which is why we have her on Cared Media 101 Group. She believes that when we see more positive images of people in media, we'll see massive changes for the better in the community. I'd like to take this time to welcome to Here to Help You on my TCN TV network, Ms. Tanika Wright.
Hi, thank
Did I
you
say
so
that
much
right?
for having me.
Did I say the right name right?
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Perfectly.
Yes.
Perfectly.
Ms. Tanika,
Thank
how are you
you.
today?
Thank you. I'm great. I'm excited to be here.
Fantastic.
Thank
So
you.
we have questions.
Yeah, I spent all last night trying to drop some
He
questions.
was up till 3 trying to make sure he found questions that were not redundant to things you may have been asked before. Go ahead, Dave. Put in your hard work.
It's
Show
all
your hard
good.
work.
My hard work, right?
Yes.
All right, no problem. So my first question would be, where did the love for storytelling, the filmmaking, come from? And then, of course, you can always drop on your experience regards to how everything started from there.
Oh man, I have, as a child, was a bookworm. So I was always reading, and then somewhere in my early teens, that reading turned into writing. And so I would write my own stories. I would share them with my friends, pass them around to all my friends, and they'd be like, "Oh, write more, write more, write more." And this went on for some years until I got close to graduating from high school. And I said, you know what, maybe I need to think of something to do that'll pay the bills. So I schooled for engineering, put my pen and paper down for a long time, and then started writing again, just as a hobby, just as like a therapeutic type of thing. I went to a community college and took some writing classes, and the professors were like, "No, you should definitely get back into writing. In fact, your movies, well, your stories read like a movie, so you should get into screenwriting." And that's where that started, maybe 12 years ago now.
Amazing. 12 years. So I know someone mentioned before regarding you going to school for engineering, right? So what's my question? Yes. So when did the decision actually come about for you to go ahead now and actually transition to now, of course, this as a full-time gig as opposed to like staying in the engineering realm?
And what did mom say?
Okay. So I said, I think, well, at first it was dance, and then I was going to do writing. And then it was like, I'm not paying for that. Like, what are you talking about? It's like, who's going to pay for that? And not me. But I was always really strong in math and science. And so math and science, you go into engineering. So that's where that came from to go to school for. And then really to make the transition, it was not until I became an adult and was paying my own bills where I was like, okay, well, maybe now I'll go on and try and follow the dream that I always had.
Awesome.
Yeah, if I could
so
do
I
it
know
all
that
over
came with
again.
challenges. Yes?
It did. It really did, because you go into something not having a real love for it and not really being fulfilled by doing that. And you don't see yourself in that for the rest of your life. You don't see yourself doing this thing for the rest of your life. So yeah, that comes with challenges when you're not really happy with what you're doing, not really feeling like you're living to your purpose that you were for.
Yeah, and you know what? It's interesting because once you start living your purpose, it's like a ray of sunshine. You're like, what was I doing before this?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You get up
What are some of the
happy in the
challenges
morning.
you face? Sorry.
No, that's okay. Challenges. Well, my career in engineering was a great career, paid well, paid the bills. And once you start talking about doing a different thing, your community of people are just like, you're about to do what? They don't really get it. So I got a lot of that from family members and friends, just not really understanding how you go from, and I don't blame them really, how you go from engineering to now wanting to make movies. And I think a large part of that comes from because we don't see so many of us making a living at it. So for them, it was strange for them. It was a transition for me because I didn't go to a formal film school. So that meant that, I had to get a plan in place on how I was going to actually learn because I wanted to take it seriously. I wasn't just going to go out and do it. I had to invest time and money and resources into taking the proper courses to become a great screenwriter and investing in how to become a business owner. So, it's investing energy and resources into something completely different, that posed problems as well. And then not having community support. I would say those were the two biggest.
Yeah, that's usually what it is. It's that like you see this vision, but then you know what? I was told by someone that you almost have to forgive them for not seeing what you see, right? It's like, I get it.
Yeah.
You don't get it.
Yeah.
I love you anyways.
Yeah.
But stay out of my
I
way
love you
while I'm doing
anyway.
this.
Yes. Someone told me, they come from a mindset of wanting to see you safe. And that made me feel better because they do want me to be safe. They, in their eyes, having this 9 to 5, I was safe. I could live. Starting something completely new didn't look safe to them. So when I did that shift in mindset, I was like, okay, now, now I can take your side eyes at me a little better.
People only side eyes and see you put money in their hand. Don't worry.
See what I'm saying? They get free tickets and money and parties. They're like, oh, where are we going now?
For real.
Oh, I love that part of it. It's just like, oh, now you see it. Now you see the vision. You see it. So what was that one film that you would say maybe made you say, all right, I'm doing this. I'm going to commit. There must have been something that grabbed you. What was it that grabbed you to do this?
Oh man, early on it was Spike Lee. Just listening to his interviews he would give. He went to a historically Black college. He went to Morehouse, and I had plans of going to a Black college as well. And something about him, I don't know the exact quote, but I know him starting out, he had some money that he got from a family member, and then he maxed out a bunch of credit cards. And at that time, I was like, oh, man, I was young and green, y'all. Don't do this. Listen to me. Don't do this. I was like, oh, I'm in college. I can get credit cards. I'll just max them out and worry about how to pay them back after the movie is made and I've made all this money. Don't. Don't. But it was him, and I think just his whole, don't, please. His whole grinding mentality. It was his whole grinding mentality of I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get this done. So it was him early on for sure.
Oh, for sure.
So fantastic. You know what we'll do? We will take a break. I think this is a good time.
Yeah, great time.
When we do get back, what we're going to jump into is those early days of Tanika as a filmmaker, how that looked. That first film that you put out where you're like, am I doing this now? That's what we're going to talk about next. So stay tuned where we come back with the untold tales of the overexpended Visa cards, MasterCards, and American Expresses, and how that turned into a movie. When we get back, I'm here to help you. See you guys soon.
Welcome to Shadow Auto.
Miller says mainstream movies portrayed African Americans, often by whites in blackface, as unintelligent and bumbling or evil, dangerous villains. By contrast, in the African American-made race films, black characters were often heroic, intelligent, and romantic. Teachers, detectives, cowboys, roles Hollywood reserved for whites. Take the earliest film in the box set, the 1915 slapstick comedy Two Nights of Vaudeville. In the 11-minute short, the two main characters find theater tickets and end up in the best seats in the house, which would have been.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Here to Help You. We are here with Ms. Tanika Wright, talking about all the things you should not do
while in school and trying to make a film.
Number one rule, no credit cards. Cut them out of your system altogether. So
please do.
Dave,
Yes.
let's go through your illustrious group of this man sent me like 40 questions and told me to sort them. So go ahead. I'll let you do this. I'll let you take care of this segment.
Really?
All your hard work.
Well, thank you. Take us back to the first film that you directed. What was it like for you regarding the early days? And what was the process like during that time frame for you as well?
Okay, so the early days, again, I was very green. I had been, for some years, going to a bunch of different film festivals and meeting different people and networking before I got really comfortable and thought, this is something I can do. So my first film was a short film, and I got with two other friends in the area who were going to be making their first film as well. So all three of us, we were a mess. My first film, I wrote, I directed, I produced, I had family involved, got them to come bring food and coffee on set and got them to run around doing different things. And the first day on set, I hired a cameraman. Some don'ts. I hired a cameraman who did not, I did not see his puzzle reel, which is just his compilation of work of what he had worked on before. He was the husband of a coworker at my engineering job. And the first day on set, we filmed all day. I rented out a space, had actors, rented out a space, whole day. And at the end of the day, he gives the footage and everything is like orange. It has like an orange hue to everything that we did that day.
Oh no.
So I had to, so I had to scrap the whole day. And this is insert credit cards, right? Because I had to find someone, and I said, you know what? I'm not going to be cheap. I'm going to have to come out of pocket for someone whose work I've seen, who has a good reputation in the area. I maxed out the credit card. I probably maxed out to the tune of $8,000 my first film.
Wow.
Yeah, my first film. Yeah, but I went overboard. Let me tell you, if I could do it all over again, I went so overboard. I had all these different locations, costuming, props, like I went all in. But surprisingly enough, the film was actually great. We got into probably about 4 film festivals and got 2 awards out of that first film.
Excellent.
But it was like falling in the mud the entire time with making that first one. But I wouldn't do that portion differently because I knew so much better the next time I went to make another film. I knew exactly what not to do because I did so many wrong things that first go around.
What was the name of the film, and which film festivals was the film accepted in?
Okay, so Indigo Heart was the name of the film. It's a short film. I write love stories, so everything I write is a love story. And it got into Martha's Vineyard, into Action on Film in California. It got into... gosh, it's been so long ago. There's one in Atlanta. There's a Black festival in Atlanta. Gosh, I don't remember.
No worries.
I'll show them later for sure.
No worries.
Yeah.
No problem. You spoke of winning at least 2 awards, I believe. How did this surprise, in fact, the nomination and now winning have on you at that point in time as a filmmaker?
So I was just honored to get in at all, but to actually be nominated It was confirmation that I was doing what I was supposed to be doing. And I think even if I had not been nominated, the fact that I had completed, I was just like, okay, it just felt so good to do it all, even with all the mistakes and all, just to get it done. It just felt so great. But yeah, the nomination and the win were cherries on top.
Excellent. Let's talk about a little comparison now regarding, of course, Miss Tonika, the early filmmaker, now versus yourself, who's been, of course, they've been in the game for a little while. How has your approach been different this time around?
And have you paid off the credit cards?
So this is another reason why you can't use credit cards. Because not only are you maxing out, you have to take time to, which it could be using for your next film. So there's a huge gap of you being able to save for your next film because you're still paying for the one you just made.
Right.
So yeah. So definitely going forward, I got, and my business, I speak about this, getting really creative with how to raise money so that you're not using your own money to make your films. So definitely getting creative and not using all of your own money, but also being a lot smarter to write toward my budget. So if you have your budget in mind, you want to make sure that your scenes and your props and your locations and your actors and all of that fits in your budget. I wrote this grandiose story and didn't have the budget to go along with it. So definitely write towards your budget, even if that means cutting out certain things from your script.
Makes sense. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
We like to overextend sometimes,
We do.
But it's because you want it to be great.
You want it to be great, but there's so many other things you have to think about. If you make a dope, cheap film, then you'll have money left over to market it for a whole bunch of people to see. You get to go to, different film festivals and such, or sell it however you want to handle it. So do it the cheapest, best way.
When you don't have to use your credit card. So how did
you go.
You've received this award now. Your film has been entered into different festivals. So obviously the ego is a little bit stroked. Has to be. It's just like, I did it. I did this. How did you elevate from that and continue to grow and find ways to keep yourself grounded at the same time?
I think it's community. Because your ego can get in the way and you can feel like, oh, I did this, so my next go round, I know I'll be able to do this, that, and the third. And some of it is, but your ego, like, you can't let your ego get in this thing because we're such a few, Black filmmakers. There's so much we need to do as a collective, and working together, that you can't feel like it's just you, if that makes sense. We have so much work to do. You can't just feel like it's just you. So I helped a lot, some other filmmakers to make their films, and they got into things. And, even if that meant that I was helping out with food or helping out with the costumes or helping out wherever they needed help, just making it a community effort, I think definitely gets you out of that, I'm trying to be a star type of thing.
Okay. So your community definitely kept you leveled, right? So that you weren't
definitely. And they still do.
Awesome. So I have like a bag of questions after this. We have one more segment to go, so I'm going to try to squeeze in like 30 questions in like 10 minutes. We can do this.
Rapid fire.
We can do this. I'm just going to throw them out at you. So when we get back, we'll have actually a little clip from the Black Filmmakers Academy that we found on Tonika, and go into the academy. What do students have to look forward to with Filmmaker when we come back on Here to Help You? See you guys soon.
At Benjamin Law, we understand the real cost of personal injuries. As the victim of an accident, you may be the one who's physically hurt, but your main concern is that your family are the ones who will pay the price. Benjamin Law will be there for you, helping, supporting, and working tirelessly to resolve your personal injury case. Call 1-855-899-4878 or visit benjaminlaw.ca and let our family of lawyers help your family.
Hi, everybody. My name is Tanika Wright. I am a writer, an independent filmmaker, and founder of Black Filmmakers Academy. So like a lot of you out there, I did not start off at film school. I went to college for engineering of all things because I knew if I went to my mother and said, hey, I want to be a writer, I want to make movies, she probably would have bit my head off. And so like you, I was left to pretty much figure it out on my own. I studied movies. I attended a ton of film festivals, some courses and workshops and that type of thing. I found some filmmakers who were just as hungry and as dedicated as I was. But truth be told, at the end of the day, we didn't know what we didn't know. And so that is where Black Filmmakers Academy came from. Courses offered in the major areas of filmmaking, from screenwriting all the way to marketing and distribution. And these courses are going to be offered at prices that will not put a hole in your pocket. And these are real tips and strategies from people who have been exactly where you are and want to see you succeed.
Are you back?
Are you?
I'm here.
Okay, go.
So we've certainly come a long way.
Yes.
We were taking a look at some of those earlier clips, and now it's our turn to pass the torch. And this is where you step in, Tanika, because you've come up with the Black Filmmakers Academy. And I want to take a quote from your website. The real starting point of a film career comes in the process of learning. True learning is a lifelong experience. So, how did you take this from inception, the idea of Black Filmmakers Academy, to actual fruition? Talk to us about that.
On my own. So I had a background of writing in the filmmaking process. And then, you know, the community of filmmakers that I knew, they were just like, you know, I came up with this idea and I said, you know, I want to find a way to help those of us who did not go to film school. I think I'll start a site and offer courses. So the idea came up just like that. But the business side, because I knew pretty much the filmmaking side, the business side is where I had to get in and do some more work in the business operations, getting it all done, and the legal aspects of it, and people sharing their ideas, and me, you know, having non-disclosures, all these sorts of things that go into the creative business side. So yeah, I got a business group. I saved money, invested in business operations type of things, and started making courses. I just decided to do it.
What are some of these courses? Because, like, I know with some of our students here, it'd still be something they can do.
Yeah. Because, you know,
between DC and Baltimore. So, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so this is something that a Canadian could still do.
Yeah.
have never been to film festivals, don't know what they're all about, and it can be overwhelming. So, how to get the most out of film festivals, screenwriting, distribution, how to raise money, non-traditional ways of raising money, crowdfunding, how to build your film team. You know, if you feel like you're in an area that's not film heavy, how to build a team in that area. Those are some of the courses that we have up right now. And then we do summits as well, where I get industry leaders to come and I interview them on their area of expertise. Last October, we had 20 people from 20 different areas in filmmaking to speak. And next month, we're going to do television and web series. So I'll have 7 badasses to come and talk TV and web series. I'm excited about that.
Oh, that's awesome. Because, you know, a web series, that's definitely an area that a lot of our people are striving towards or moving towards. So definitely a lot of people are going to be looking out for that.
Mm-hmm. So this transition from filmmaker to educator, was it a tough one?
I thought it would be because I don't really enjoy being in front of the camera. I'm a behind the camera type of person. But it hasn't been. And I guess that goes back to when you're doing something you love, the nervousness really comes out of it. You know, that kind of disappears. So just speaking on different areas of filmmaking, I love it. I love that I'm helping other people to do it, you know, that couldn't afford film school. So that wasn't too hard for me. It's not too hard.
Okay. And what's the process? So let's just say I had maxed up my credit cards, but now I wanted to come to work. But I was like, Tanika, I want to be a filmmaker. What is the process? Can you walk us through that?
Well, it's totally dependent on what area of filmmaking that a person would want to get into. But we have resources for all the different areas. My strong suit is writing. And directing and production. So for anyone that wants to be an independent filmmaker, because in my mind, to be an independent filmmaker, you have to know a little bit about all the different areas and then be strong in whatever you want to be strong in. So I definitely say you have to know storytelling for sure, because if it's not a good story, then everything else really is not gonna pull it all together. Yeah.
Okay, so again, I don't have much money, but I want to come to school and I want to write. No, I want to be an independent filmmaker. What do I do next? I call you. Well, and like, okay, now what, Tanika? What do I do?
Well, after we have the conversation about what you would like to do, I would suggest a writing course. And our courses on the site are not very expensive. They range from $40 to $60, and they're an hour, and they have resources, booklets, or what have you to go along with it. You're able to download them, and so you can rewatch them whenever you want, take notes however you want. And then also in our Facebook group, there are a lot of strong filmmakers as well as new filmmakers in the Facebook group, where you can come into the group and ask as many questions as you like. They're dropping resources in the group for downloads or for study, different scripts to study. We share in the group. So I would say, in this digital age that we have, you can definitely make it happen. Between the courses I have on my site, coming into our Facebook group, or to constantly write me and say, your encouragement is pushing me through. I never thought I would be able to do this. You're making this so I can understand how to get the script written. So I think that's been the biggest success story so far, is that we got a huge number of Black writers writing movies. We're going to be doing another one of those in April.
Ooh, so can I send my writing in?
If you want.
I'm a writer girl. I like storytelling.
come on with it. After the challenge, I did take on about 10 writers who wanted me to help them with their entire script, and they let me mark all through it and give feedback and everything. It was fun for me. I hope it was fun for them.
You can't mark on my writing.
Oh boy.
I don't want
I'll use a pink pen. I'll make sure it's pink, not red.
Okay.
That sounds good.
But just be easy with the marks, okay? Just 2 marks per sheet.
Per line, right?
Tanika, honestly, thank you so much. I really want people to visit her. So for more information on Black Filmmakers Academy, you can go to the website, which is www.blackfilmmakersacademy.com.
Yes.
And if we can get, I want to see Tanika again. Where'd she go? There you are. Tanika, thank you so much for taking the time.
Much.
We
Thank
honor you,
you.
sister. The ones who are in front of the camera, the ones who are behind the camera. It is our responsibility to change the narrative. We have to do it. We have to do something.
Mm-hmm.
We can't wait. We can't depend on. We've got to just do it ourselves. So thank you for stepping up and not being an engineer and running up all type of credit cards to be where you are right now, girl. We honor you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I enjoyed my time with you guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Tanika. Have a wonderful day. And everyone, we have a video to end it. A little bit more on Tanika Wright. If you guys need to contact her, definitely go to the website. Look it up, Black Filmmakers Academy. You guys have a wonderful, happy, bright, beautiful, kind of cold Tuesday afternoon.
Peace
See
and
you
love,
guys
family.
next week. Later.
Making films from our perspective is a huge and major deal to me. You know, the climate in our country right now calls for talented filmmakers to create content that sheds a light on the disparities in our community, police brutality, politics, love, comedy, drama, laughter, you know, all of that. We need it all, and we need to be the creators. Training, execution, and collaboration with like-minded filmmakers is what Black Filmmakers Academy is all about. So be sure to follow us across all social media at Black Filmmakers Academy and browse our library of trainings, which will be updated regularly. Again, I'm Tanika Wright of Black Filmmakers Academy. Thank you.